Hello and welcome to the Super League Pom-Cast. Yes, we are back with ourselves over in the UK Super League. I'm, of course, in Australia. I'm joined with my co-host this evening. It is, of course, Andy from Only in Rugby League. Andy, how are you going over in sunny Blackpool?
It is sunny today.
Is
It
it?
is September sunny. September has been nothing but rain. Absolute and Saturday, absolutely soaked to the skin at work. And the last couple of days has been nice and sunny.
Yeah.
So what are you coming into spring now, aren't you? There, are you in
Coming
spring?
into spring, mate. It's been about
Lovely.
well. It's not been as cold as 19 degrees. I think's been our lowest.
All right.
So overnight it's still cold though. Overnight we're
Yeah.
at the minute 7 degrees. So we
So
are still chilly at night.
we're trying to cling on, and as you know, I work in golf, so it's the Ryder Cup this weekend. So we're
Of
hoping the
course
weather
it is.
stays nice because there'll be plenty of people on because people will have Ryder Cup fever.
It's is it in Europe? No, it's in America this year, isn't
It's
it?
in New York. It's at
Yeah.
Bethpage Black, which they have quote. Yeah, and see if you agree with this. They have quoted as the most sports fanatical city in the world.
What, New York?
I'm not having that.
No. No. You
It was
can go to
Americans that were
Manchester
saying it.
and
To be
see.
fair, it was what
You can go to Manchester and see more
Ex-
sports fanatic people in a
exactly
pub.
what I've said.
You can go
Exactly what
to.
I've said.
I reckon you talk more about sports in a boozer in Southport than you would
Yeah.
in a bar in New York.
Well,
As
how
in
would you
in-depth
compare? I mean,
conversations.
you're there. How would you compare Sydney to New York in terms of sports fanaticism?
I mean, you can't walk. You can't walk more than 20 meters without seeing some sort of sports shirt, without
Mm.
seeing, without talking to someone about sport. To be honest,
And that's
especially
not just
like all different kinds.
that's not just rugby league, is it?
No, they
No.
talk about the Premier League, they talk about basketball, even
Mm,
some people talk about baseball, not much of them, talking
mm.
about rugby league, talking about no one really talks about rugby union to be fair, unless you're up in the posh quarters of Sydney. Um, but yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't
Yeah,
put New York there. I mean, what have they got? The Yankees, the Giants,
yeah, that's it. And the Knicks,
the Knicks. I beg your pardon. Um,
because they play at Madison Square Garden, don't they? So they're into basketball. And then
yes, yeah, of course.
basically what they're into sports that other people don't play.
Yeah.
That's
They
it.
can be the best at.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
So
if you're
we'll
going to be
see.
world champions, you may as well be world champions in a sport only you play.
Got a better chance.
Exactly. And before anyone comes at us, I know it's all about sponsorship and it's sponsored by the World magazine and whatever. Uh, piss off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're
so,
exactly that.
So, what have we got on the agenda today on the episode, Andy? We are going to be going through our ratings of this year. Obviously, the regular season came to an end at the weekend, so I think it's only right that we put our stamp of approval or stamp of dismay and general detest for certain teams' performances. They will rank from A to F. We will have pluses, we will have minuses. Got lots of notes wrote down in work today. As you can tell, I've been very productive in work during my 30-minute unpaid break, of course.
Absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely, I'm entitled to it. Got to be done. So, first of all, let's start off with the ones that wrapped up the League Leaders Shield. They left it late. It looked, for love of all money, they were going to get it for about 10 weeks. It felt like, as the season was coming to an end, it was, of course, Hull KR. Now, they ended the trophy drought this year in emphatic style in the Challenge Cup, beating Warrington and winning the Mr. Consistent award at the weekend, like I just mentioned, in the League Leaders Shield. It's a trophy double, and I've given them an A+.
Mm. I didn't go with an A plus. I've gone with an A, being that my highest mark, if
Yeah.
you like. So very similar. I do, however, now have some doubts about their ability to finish the job.
I was going to say this. Will they do a Canberra?
Yes.
I think so too.
The only thing I would say in our playoffs, the way they are now, they don't have to play. They don't get a second chance.
No.
So they're in the semis. So it's a
Mhm.
one-off game. Big thing for them being at home. They have a good crowd behind them. And it looks like if you say all things being equal and 1, 2, 3, 4 get through, then it looks at the minute they would probably play Leeds at home.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it's gonna
Leeds
be.
beat them last time out at home.
Yeah, unless Wakey can spring a surprise on Lee, which I
Yeah.
don't think they will, then I think that they're going to be at home to either Leeds or Wakey. I think it'll be Leeds. And then that will leave Wigan and Lee for the other semi if 1, 2, and 3 and 4 get through.
Mhm.
Where I think at the start of the season and probably the first 2/3 of the season. By the way, I thought they were incredibly fortunate to win the Challenge Cup in the final.
Yeah.
Warrington should have won that game. But they didn't, and they got over the trophy hoodoo. They've limped over the line for the League Leaders Shield.
Yeah.
Where I think they were brilliant for the first 2/3 of the season, I thought their line speed in defence and they were ruthless. Their ruthlessness in attack left everybody else behind. What I do think is that where they look fitter for the first 2/3 of the season,
Yeah, they
now I think
don't.
they look a bit tired.
They do. I
Now the
thought
week
so
off
too.
might do them really good,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah, absolutely.
don't
But
seem the
because
same.
they never got the trophy wrapped up as well,
Mm,
they had to
it's
go full strength every week up until the end
mm,
of the year. Like they couldn't not do that. They
no
knew they were
that
getting a week off as well, obviously,
that's
but
right.
maybe even like a week off, 3 weeks to go after winning the league leaders, go on a boozy celebration, and then play 2 games and another week off. That would have just refreshed them a
Mm,
little bit more. I do think they look tired, they look fatigued, they look a little bit weak
mm.
in parts.
And I think the worry for them as well would be that Leeds have already been to Hull KR and won.
Yeah.
And I think Leeds is probably, if it is Leeds, that's probably the worst team they could play that they've got left.
Yeah.
If I was Willie Peters,
I'd
I
be
think I'd
praying
much
Saints
rather
win.
go to play Saints or Lee
hmm
than I would Leeds,
I
who
think
have become the dark horses, if you like.
I disagree with Lee. Obviously, they won't play Lee anyway, no matter, unless Wakey. Well, yeah, they
No,
won't
they
play
won't
Lee
play
at
Lee.
all,
They can't
apart
play
from
them.
in the final.
It'll
Um,
it'll be
I think
Leeds it'll be Leeds, Saints or Wakey.
I think he'd be more worried about Lee than he would with Leeds,
Okay,
personally.
okay.
But I think he's praying that Saints win against Leeds because he's got Saints' number. They know how to beat Saints.
They've got no problem with Saints, have they?
No.
They've got
So,
no problem there. But
but if they don't win the treble, is it is it is it back? They have been the best team all year.
mm.
Are they
No,
are
I
they
think it's
treble
been
deserving?
I think up to the last 4 or 5 weeks, you would say so, wouldn't you?
hmm
I just think they've got a down. I don't think that should take away from everything that they've been for the first
No.
23, 24 weeks.
I
I
think we
don't think
should
that
yeah, I
should
think we
do
should
it.
go back to praising them. We have to give them a high grade.
Absolutely. Well, I think here's a question though. If they do it, I think we've asked this before, but
Yeah.
where did they rank in the
I think we
treble winning
ranked them
sides?
bottom out of them, didn't we?
So would you still rank them bottom now at this stage?
Yeah.
Behind Bradford, behind Wigan, behind Leeds, behind Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Probably more of an indictment on the standard of the league than it was then.
That
But I
that
know what you
more
mean. Yeah,
so than the actual quality of the team.
yeah.
It's more the rest of the division
But
below them.
and I think they've had some real standout performers that have really impressed me this
Yeah.
season. I think they
James
brought
Batchelor
James
for me
Batchelor.
has been absolutely outstanding.
I think Broadbent's been amazing this season.
Broadbent's been a great coup.
I think he's been brilliant. Whether he played at fullback, on the wing, in the centre, I think he's been brilliant
That
wherever he's played.
versatility
Yeah,
can never be underestimated.
scores a lot of tries, even in the centre. Real
Hmm.
strike player, really good. Um, I think Davis has been really good. I think Tom
Yeah,
Davis has been excellent. And he must be putting himself on the line for the Ashes.
yeah. I mean, the
I'm
problem
not sure he
is can he
will.
play left wing? Because I
That's
think Dom
that's
Young will
where
be
we.
the left. That Dom Young will be the right winger.
Yeah, exactly. And I think then for the left, I don't think he'll get it because I think he'll pick. I think he'll pick Marshall probably on the left. I don't think Davis will get in.
I, I,
I think he'll pick
I've
Marshall
got a
or
wild.
Burgess.
I've got a wild card for my wing spot now. Which we'll get into later on
Okay.
in one of our ratings. But absolutely, Hull KR deservedly in the A grades. Superb season for them.
Yeah.
Ended the trophy out finally. They've now finally got a generation that can celebrate a trophy win.
Okay. So, quick question for you then, Hull KR. Then,
Mm-hmm.
will they compete the treble? Yes or no?
No, Wigan,
Okay.
I
Right.
reckon.
Will they reach the final?
Hmm. If Saints beat Leeds, yes. If Leeds beat Saints, no.
Okay.
Because I think Leeds know, or Wakey even. I'll even throw Wakey in the mix, just because they will not be afraid to throw the ball around, which is how I think you beat this whole KR side.
Mm.
Saints will be afraid to throw the ball around.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that when we rate Saints. I'm pretty certain, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think if Saints win, they go through.
Yeah.
If Leeds win or Wakey beat Lee, I reckon
Then.
it's a toss up because they'll throw the ball around. But going off and away from Hull KR, praise be to them and their teams. We're going to go straight to the bottom of the league, in case you haven't noticed. When I name this team Salford, we are going top, bottom, second, 11th, all that way through. Keep it nice and interesting so you don't just listen to your team and bugger off. You've got to listen all the way through. See,
Unless you're a Hull KR fan.
unless you're an
Hull KR
OKR
fan, then
fan,
you've
then
gone. Yeah.
see you, mate. Unless you want to hear us criticise Hull FC,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
there you go.
Good point.
There you
Yeah,
go.
good point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or praise them. We don't know how that's going to go. But yes, of course, we're going down to Salford. I think there's only one rating I could give them, and it's not even on our A to F. It's a U. It's undefined. It's unrecognisable,
Mm.
is what I put it as,
Yeah.
because it's not the team that started the season. Yeah, a couple of shock defeats, but that's pretty much what this season. This season is one that will be remembered in
Yeah.
Salford's history, but unfortunately, it's not for any good reasons. It's for all the bad reasons. You've had a mass exodus of staff and players, the onslaught of missed payments, the onslaught, the change of ownership, of governance. That has just been an absolute indictment. That if you haven't listened to our Hull KR and Salford kind of deep dive, go and listen to it, because it's just an absolute shambles for the club. And this season, it unfortunately can't be wrote off.
Mm.
What? How many numbers did they get up to? 74 was it in the end, or
Something ridiculous. I think
something
like that. Yeah.
ridiculous? It's over 60 odd players utilised. It's it's an indictment on potentially where the sport is at,
Mm.
and where unfortunately people's greed is at, and the RFL should hang their heads in shame, is my summary.
Yeah. I think there's a few people that should hang their heads in shame.
Yeah,
One being this week, which I haven't read into a lot, so I'm speaking without
I haven't
a
even
lot of
seen it,
knowledge
so this will
here.
be you telling me.
The Sale Sharks have signed a deal to the naming rights of the stadium. It's called
What?
ACPO or something. It's ACPO or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But they've done a deal with it. So, but I thought it was a council-owned
Salford
community
Community
stadium.
Stadium.
So why have Sale Sharks been allowed to do the
Unless
to the naming rights?
I don't know.
They've been
I'm gonna have
taking
to look
pictures this
into
week.
that. I
They've
didn't even
announced it.
see
It's been
that.
announced. Yeah, it's been
Have they got the
announced.
signs up and everything, or?
I think it was a new deal for this or whatever because they were on the pitch shaking hands with the businessman.
Well, that'd be interesting. Surely Salford Council would have to approve it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to Google that and look it
you
up.
have to look
Or
at
if
that. But yeah,
someone knows, give us a message
definitely
on
happened.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's definitely
Or,
happened. But
well, that's
and I'm
strange, isn't it?
thinking, it is strange and sad because even without even the state they're in, it just appears that Sale Sharks are the main tenants now at the ground, doesn't it?
Well, that probably helps if you pay
If you pay
staff
your
and
rent,
players and
yeah,
rent. Doesn't matter how much debt you're in as long as they get paid.
that's it.
As long as you have that
I've
turnover.
I've given them an F because I forgot about a U, to be quite honestly. So I've given them an F. Not having gone to uni like you, clever lot. I was like, I forgot
I
about
never
the
went
U.
to uni, don't worry.
So I give them an F, but I give Paul Rowley an A.
Oh God. That's talk about your end of season awards. That's like
But he is like I wouldn't give him Coach of the Year or anything like that. I'm just saying the way that he's carried
he's been the only
himself.
one left.
Yeah, the way that he's carried himself, the way that he's put a team out every week. I think the way that he's conducted himself in the face of this adversity.
Oh, massively.
I feel that man deserves better. I think the only time that, and I don't again, we're not sure of the full facts behind. I think the only time that he really let himself down was in the first game of the season when they
Yeah,
first
yeah,
got put into special measures, and he named pretty much an under-13s team against
yeah.
Saints. And I think
So
that's the
it's
only time that because they played in the cup the week before and had a much better
yeah.
team out. And I think that was the only thing that I think that he's there. But he
So for that Paul
won't be.
Rowley, you're now on a B.
Yeah, he won't be there next season. But I tell you what, I think whoever picks him up in whatever capacity, whether it's as a head coach or of a director of rugby, I think has got somebody really special. And I don't say that, and I'm looking at his whole career. When he was at Lee, he did really well as a coach. They were expansive, they were entertaining. The Salford teams that he's had have been the same. And I think you just wipe this out because he's just been forced to just try and get 17 players out on the pitch this season.
Yeah,
So I think
absolutely.
whoever and he was on Sky the other week. It was
For
the
the
Saints
Saints
game,
game.
and he was on pitch side with John Wilkin, and the stuff he was saying was really insightful and came across as a job interview for somebody to say, "Here I am. This is my knowledge. Come and
Yeah.
get me."
It was really good to hear that coach's perspective from someone
Yeah.
who, to be fair, for years I was always like, oh, he's an overrated coach. But over the past couple of years, I've my, you know, I've kind of changed on that opinion.
Mm,
Especially over the last 18 months, I've been like, he actually really is good. I think that's because he kind of had a bit of a reputation of, especially in his younger days, of like his teams being out for thuggish sort of attitudes and a bit
mm,
brutal and a bit horrible teams to
mm.
play. As well as he played that exciting rugby, he did always have that reputation. And over the
Yeah.
past 3 or 4 years with Salford, and like I said, my opinion changed over the last 18 months. He's he's actually got shown his soft side, whether he's gotten softer with age or whatever, I
Mm.
don't know. But he speaks
Yeah.
really well and highly of his players, which is what I like.
He seems to be a really good man manager to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Yes.
think coaches
And I think he's
coaches come
learned
and yeah, I agree because he's in his
from his
50s now, and I
mistakes.
think he's probably learned. I think you're right, and I think coaches come and go in terms of they'll have their 15 minutes in the sun, and then everybody
Hmm.
says, "Wow, we've got to get him." Ian Watson's the prime
Yes.
example for that, and now no one really wants to touch him. No one's really speaking about him as a head coach when it comes available. Whereas a couple of years ago, when he was at
Everyone wanted
Salford,
him.
everyone wanted him. And there's people that have had fleeting moments of success. I'm thinking about people that have been involved, people like Chris Chester, for example, Richard Agar, maybe another one. But I'm thinking that Rowley, I think he exceeds all those, and a lot of people that have come in who've done. Rowan Smith took a team to a grand final, but I don't think is anywhere near the coach that Paul Rowley is.
No,
So
I completely agree.
yeah, I think whoever gets him, I think, has snapped up a really important piece of any jigsaw. I think.
No one even knows who has got him, to be
No,
fair, or
exactly.
if he even has a job for
Yeah.
come next year. So I think clubs should definitely be circling, a bit like Jaws, or a bit like I meant Jaws off James Bond, where he's got a shark tank. They should all be
It's not a big
circling,
shark.
and
No, yeah, all
Paul
right, fair
Rowley
enough.
being lowered down into the
Yeah.
into the pit of rugby league coaching. I'm also really loving this new format that you're bringing, Andy, with rating coaches. I'm really excited for your Warrington ratings now. Uh, it's really made me excited when we get up to
Excellent. Right, go on.
So I'll let you think about that one.
All right.
So we'll go on and move on to second place. It is, of course, the ever present Wigan Warriors, and obviously I'm a St Helens fan, born and bred, and I absolutely hate it when I have to say how well they're doing, especially when they've just signed two young players from the club that I support. The rivals, they are, you know why they've gone to a team like this. They develop players really, really well, and I've given them an A. They've took the League Leaders Shield race to the last day when it really shouldn't have. Obviously, that's partly Hull KR's fault, but they kept up with them. In my opinion, the favourites for the grand final. They've just been there, they've done that. They know when to turn on the form. You only have to look at, since French has come back into this side, what they've been producing on the pitch. Fields in a different level to every fullback this year in the league. I
Mhm.
think like a lot of people praise Lockie Miller. I'm not messing, mate. He's nowhere near the standard of Jai Field this
No,
year.
I
And
agree.
people are like,
Totally
"Oh,
agree.
it's a shocker mission from
Y-
Dream Team." I was
No,
like,
you no.
"Joking?
Look at the try involvement of the two.
It's a joke." Well, we'll come on to try involvements in a bit with another team, but it's it's ridiculous how people were shocked about this. He's phenomenal, and the outside backs have been doing it relentlessly, and the forward back win pretty much every battle they go out for. If they don't win the final, then I think my rating is probably generous, because if they don't win the grand final and they don't win Super League, then it's a trophyless season, and trophyless seasons aren't accepted in Wigan and in St Helens and in more accepted now, but previously in Leeds. In the Super League era, these were never accepted.
Yeah,
So that's why I put them A, but it's with a question mark, because if they don't win the grand final, I think it drops down to a B.
yeah. I completely agree with everything you've said. I'd give them a B
Mhm.
because I agree with what you've said. They're peaking at the right time. It's really unusual for a team coming to mid-September to be able to play pretty much 1 to 13,
Yes.
and they've got a full strength squad
Mhm.
where they can afford to leave out talents like Farrimond,
Yeah.
who, when he has stepped in, has been magnificent for them, who doesn't even
Absolutely.
get a look in. And it reminds me of when, going back to Saints in 2006, the squad was that
Mhm.
deep
Mickey
that
Iron
when,
couldn't
when the
play.
best 17, Vinny Anderson was out and Fozzard was out.
Yeah.
And it's a similar situation, I think, that they've got now in their 21-man squad. However, I feel that when French didn't play and he had that extended period out, I think they were quite poor for a spell.
Yeah.
I think they looked very, very beatable. They've turned that round. Now I'd still have, like you, I'd still make them favourites to win the grand final. But I think overall, I think they had a spell that precludes them from being an A in terms of what you said, in terms of their expectations. And I think the Challenge Cup was a disaster for them when they got
true.
beat, when they were winning easily against Hull, and they conceded about 24 points in the second half, didn't they, and got beat. So I think that the Challenge Cup thing, and you're right, it could easily be a trophyless season, just as easily as it could be that they could win the grand final again. But I think overall, when you look at it, you could say a B, and then if they win that, it's hard to not give a team an A if they win the grand final, isn't it? But I think overall, I think that's where they've been with in their squad and their expectations.
Yeah, so we're pretty much in agreement because it's like I said, I was going off the basis that they will win the grand final because they are my favourites to win it.
I think you're right.
It all depends on, obviously, if Lee win, they'll be against Wigan in the semis, and that will be a huge game.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what's interesting, man. I don't know whether it's because he had a lengthy-ish spell on the sidelines, but the person that talks about getting left out of Dream Team, if you like, is Lachlan Lamb, and we'll come on to Lee anyway. But nobody has said where's Bevan French in the Dream Team
because he had that lengthy spell out,
and that's probably it, isn't it?
Because it'll go off your Man of Steel points, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I reckon he's probably not gained enough points, despite the fact that he is easily the best in the comp.
Probably the best player in the league.
Probably best player in the comp.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous and deserves all the money he's on.
And I think everything. And I think there's a couple of others I think that in for Wigan that I think have done. I think Wardle's a class act.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done really well, and I think Marshall has done really well. As that, I mean, that left-hand side of Wardle and Marshall, I think, has been.
Why's his name got out of my head? Sam Walters has been immense this year as well for them.
Last half, I think first half, I think he was a little bit disappointing, but the last half of the season, I think he has. Yeah, he's found his feet a little bit more, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's done that. I think the left-hand side, I think of Wardle and Marshall, I think has been exceptional, both in attack and bringing the ball out from their own line as well. I think they do a really good job at that, both of them. I think that's been good. And then we mentioned Farrimond, and then the other one I want to give a mention to is Eckersley.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Eckersley, I think he's filled in wherever.
Rapid as well.
And he is rapid, isn't he? And again, he's another star of the future, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And he should be, obviously Miskey is more than likely calling it a day at the end of the year. I don't know if they've announced it or
apparently he's not. Apparently he's not doing.
The latest reports.
Yeah, the latest reports here, he's not going to retire because he's been talking about next season. So,
well, surely Eckersley still overtakes him in that wing spot.
You would think so, wouldn't you? And to me, he overtakes.
Just be a backup.
Well, to me, he overtakes Kieran in the centres.
Yeah, he's just signed that 2-year deal, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's useful to have about Kieran, but I don't think he's in the same class as Eckersley, to be honest. Or he won't. He certainly won't be in 12 months' time. I don't think.
No, he deserves to be starting either wing or centre, definitely. And I think that's where they need to go with that. And I think we've pretty much summed up Wigan. You can't give them enough praise.
I've got one more question for you on Wigan, if that's okay. Again, looking towards the Ashes. Has Harry Smith cemented the 7 spot?
On form, yes. On form, yes, but as we know, international squads aren't picked on form. There's some elements of it that are based on form. There's a lot of it that are based on what you've previously done, what your status is within the squad. And for me, all depending on whether Ethan Strange converts or not, I still think Williams will be the 7.
Yeah, okay. With who at 6 then?
with either Strange or Lewis.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
That's just my gut instinct. Because I don't think you can leave them two out as a
Okay.
six. So that's my. What about you? Is he cemented for you?
I think so in Sean Wayne's eyes.
Yeah, of course he plays for
I
Wigan.
think that.
Plays
Yeah,
for Wigan.
exactly. I think for the Wembley test, for the first one, I still think it will be Smith and Williams. I don't think he'll. And with Lewis on the bench, and that's taking Strange out of it. I think he doesn't like Connor. He's not even involved him in the training squads. And I think it'd be Smith and Williams. Whether that's the same for the second test remains to be seen. But I think for the first test, I think he'll go tried and tested. And I think
Yeah,
he'll look back at
and
the
if we get
look back
battered
at, for
in the
example, about the
first
Tonga
test,
series, the Samoa series, things like that. And I think he'll look at it in it with them too.
yeah, and if we get battered in that first test, he might
He's
swap
got
it about in the
he's got the
second.
option to bring particularly Lewis in. Yeah.
Well,
But I think that's what
yeah,
he'll go with, yeah.
yeah. Well, the rumours are that Strange will be converting over here, and I don't think you can leave him out of the squad. His sister
Okay.
has switched to England, and she could have
Yeah.
represented Australia. She's chose England. The
Yeah.
rumours are that he is expected to.
Okay.
Hopefully, but who knows. And down in 11th spot, we have the Castleford, newly rebranded Castleford Terrible Tigers. That's not the rebrand, by the way. That's just my name for them. Recruitment's been non-existent, and when it has happened, it's been woeful. The
Yeah.
squad is appalling. They sacked an experienced coach at the end of the last year and brought in a rookie coach, and then sacked the rookie coach before giving him anything to actually work with, any players, anything. The board seems so lost. The players seem even more so. But things are looking up next season
Is this with
with
the
a lot of
rebrand or the new?
spending.
Is this with the rebrand or the new coach?
Well, not with the rebrand. Jesus Christ. I thought Lee's rebrand was bad. That logo is awful.
Yeah.
It's like it's like they've just typed in on ChatGPT,
Yeah.
create logo for Castleford Tigers,
Yeah.
minimalist design
Yeah.
with
Junior
a
school
knockoff
colouring
Adidas.
contest. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, maybe they got the Saints team to design it.
Yeah. The worst thing about that was they got the departing players to do it, wasn't it?
And Tristan Saylor. Well, maybe he is departed.
Maybe it is, yeah. Incredible.
But
Anyway.
they are spending money next year with a couple of big-ish NRL signings, I suppose.
Yeah.
In the likes of Blake Taft and that new coach in Ryan Carr, who failed at Featherstone. Plenty to be excited about, or is there? I rated the season an F. It's not quite U standard, it's F.
I give them an F as well. And in all my gradings, I've tried to look at where I think the team are and what their expectations are and how they've performed
Same.
with it. So that's what I've tried to do. But, I mean, some of the signings, Zach Cheney, for example, some of their overseas imports like that, awful. Awful. I can't think of too many bright spots. In his senior,
Tom
maybe.
Amone for half a year.
Yeah. In his senior.
But they already had him.
I'm trying to think of what the bright spots are. His brother. I'm trying to think of where. I don't think
Sam Wood's
Maguire.
even been crap this year, apart from
Maguire
against
came
Saints.
out. Yeah, Maguire came out this week and said that he wasn't ready to be a head coach.
Yeah.
So
and that they told him they wanted him to be.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's difficult if somebody throws that at you and says, "No, we'll support you. We think you're ready, etc."
We'll give you time.
I think it's difficult for any individual. But then the reality sets in, doesn't it? And then suddenly you've won 1 out of 10 or something like that, and the fans are on your back, and they're all saying that you're not a coach and this, that, and the other. and it becomes really difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they've had. They look sometimes to be an aging pack. I think sometimes they have. They look slow. They look devoid of ideas sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing they've done is probably put seats down the terrace in. I think that's probably the best thing they've done. I think that's about it.
Livened up the Undertaker's
Yeah,
hoped
yeah.
Undertaker's stadium.
I don't. Yeah, I don't really see what they've done, and I think from
Saying
where
that
they
a
are,
fire would have like lit up that place, literally
I think. I
brightened it
think.
up.
I think what we've been in this season is we've had a 19 league,
Yes.
right? And the three that have been absolutely nondescript, Salford, obviously, but then to be in the other two of Castleford and Huddersfield
Mm-hmm.
probably tells you everything that you need to know about their season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how many more years do we have to say this about Cass? Because we've been saying this for easily the last 3, 4 years.
With the way that things are developing in the league, and you look at the teams that have put applications in, for example, and there's going to be 3 teams that come in, aren't there? Because Salford aren't going to be
Mm-hmm.
there. So, my guess would be it would be York, Bradford. I
London.
would have possibly gone with Oldham, but not now. I probably think it would be London because of the Darren Lockyer connection and Gary Hetherington. So I would think that
And Jake
perhaps London.
Demetriou, Regan Campbell Gillard.
Yeah, I don't. They're
These.
not signing them to play in the Championship, are they?
No.
So I think that it looks nailed on that it's going to be London as that third one. Then they would be coming in to make a 14-team league. Okay. My only point is that when you look at the teams that have put applications in, not going to get on to Toulouse because they would offer far more than Castleford do anyway
Yes.
in terms of rugby
Yeah.
league, right? Oldham, would they offer more than Castleford?
Yes.
Widnes,
No.
Doncaster.
Long term, yes.
Do you see where I'm going with this? It's like, yes, they're in and they're in on scores, and they didn't, and they also didn't put an application in. Although in August they said they had done.
Yeah.
So they either have put one or they haven't put one in. Well, I don't know.
They're
I don't know
doing
what
the
they
hokey
said in
cokey.
August the 28th they'd put one in. September the 13th we haven't put one in because we think our IMG scores will be more than
Maybe
good enough.
it's like when the IMG score didn't go up because they didn't submit paperwork. Maybe it's the same administrative team that's involved with
Yeah.
this. It's like,
Are
yeah,
you gonna
yeah,
come?
we've put it in.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're
Are you
not.
going? Are you gonna come and check? No. Oh yeah. Well, we've got loads of electronic scoreboards. Yeah.
You'll come and check. Yeah, the whole stand's padded seats.
Yeah. Exactly that. Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, we got executive boxes.
But
What is it? Oh,
but
it's the food van outside. Executive box.
but there has to be a point where these are the teams that are knocking on the door to get in Super League that are not in the 3 that are going to be in for 2026 or 27, depending which reports you read
Mm-hmm.
now. Those teams, they have to stay in front of those teams.
Yeah.
And at the minute, I don't know what they are. I don't know how they are staying in front.
I agree. It's got to be crowd numbers.
Yeah.
Because no
Yeah.
matter how shit they are, they still turn up.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But there would be straight away a 25% reduction in that if they weren't in Super League. I mean, you talk about crowd numbers.
Oh yeah. Look at Bradford; they've all
Just based on
disappeared.
away fans.
Yeah,
And that's without the home fans that think, well, I'm not coming watching Champions. I'm not coming watching at home to Batley.
yeah.
So there is there is that as well to consider when you
Yeah,
talk
true.
about crowd numbers. Yeah,
True, because away teams in Super League like
bring
going to
far
Cass as
bring
well,
far
so
more
they all
than
bring more than they
than
would do
Whitehaven
toward
would. Yeah,
KR
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, completely agree. And I think our rating of F is pretty much deserved.
yeah.
Even though I didn't have expectations for them at the start of the year. Although for some reason, like I said this at the start of the year, is Cass must have the best PR team because all the Cass fans think they deserve like a playoff push or a cup run, despite the fact that the squads are always shocking.
Unless they're still living in that hope that they did it in 2017 and they can do it again.
Yeah, but they had momentum. 2016, they did half decent.
Hmm.
They played exciting rugby. They had an half decent squad then as well. When you look at the players they had, they've got nothing now. They've got no hope to cling on to, other than a few of the signings that they're currently making. But everyone else is strengthening as well. So
Yeah. Does Luke Gale's drop goal still haunt you?
yes, fucking never forgive Ryan Morgan.
He doesn't get anywhere near enough stick, does he? For that?
No, oh man, I
Yeah, don't get on that one, mate.
don't. My
Don't get
blood
on.
pressure's already started rising. My watch has just gone. Calm down. Your heart rate's at 120. Just the mention of that game, dickhead. And now he's putting on Instagram posing because he's a personal trainer and he's a model and fuck off. He's on everybody billboard over here.
Has he?
Yeah, I've seen his face on one. Don't want to see it ever again. I had to
He's not one of them
unfollow
that
him
you
on
bumped into.
Instagram.
He's not one of them that you've been for drinks with. Then, not one of them.
No.
No, okay,
Oh,
right.
if he was, he'd know about it.
He'd be telling you because you are a friend of the stars, aren't you? No, now you've been
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know how it is. I get about.
I do. Yeah.
So moving on, it is the team that has outperformed everyone's expectations. Derek didn't bring out a pie to the Sky team. This year he brought wooden spoons. Again, I don't know what for. Maybe he's just that sort of man, and he wanted a spanking off him. Who knows? um,
He
he's
brought the wooden spoons out in reaction to the Sky Punjabi team predicting about 3 or 4 of them predicting that Lee would be
wouldn't
the
make the
one
playoffs.
team to drop out of the top 6.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they weren't. So, fair enough. They are hitting form for me at the right point. They could upset the favourites if they beat Wakey this week. I've put Lamb, absolute disgrace. He is not in the Man of Steel
Yeah.
running. It's a farce that he's not in this
40
Dream Team award.
assists.
41 try assists.
41, yeah.
But he did only get 4 of his own, so he should have been a bit more selfish.
Yeah.
And maybe he'd have been in.
Yeah.
Recruitment has been superb. The unearthed gems off Ngawi I wrote off this season because he's been shocking for Parramatta the past 18 months. Always gave it his all, but he was never good for them. And yeah, he's come over here and he's created that impact off the bench. Owen Trout, I know why a lot of big clubs were after him last year, and he's proven it ever more so. He has wrote himself well and truly into England contention at prop. You've got the likes of AJ Trowse from York, who also had interest from a couple of the big clubs, but picked Lee. Hodgson, Bailey Hodgson from over here in Newcastle. He's obviously on Cass Youngster. I think he's the nephew of Josh Hodgson.
Okay.
He's either the nephew or a cousin, but I'm 90% certain he's his nephew. Tessie New, who got offered to Saints 18 months ago, and Saints never took it up. He's been a man mountain And
He's a monster, isn't he? Yeah.
the other centre for me, who would be my left wing pick, would be Omila Hanley.
Okay. All right.
He's
Okay.
been incredible, and he's had a real turnaround. He didn't start off very well at Wigan. Obviously, Wigan let him go, and Lee picked him up. He didn't really start off well at Lee. His first point of his Lee career last season, and he's just turned into an absolute beast. He scores every week.
Mm.
At least one try, if not a double. He's potent in attack. Lee's attack is consistently good and exciting. You never know where they're going to strike from because of that. Because of the Lachlan Lamb effect, he
Yeah.
can pass both ways with just as much ease. It's really an incredible. They have been absolutely well disciplined, and that's why I think it puts them really in contention with potentially beating Wigan. Because if Wigan lose a man, I don't think Lee will. They've
Yeah.
been incredibly well disciplined. Only one sin bin in, and that was the other week against Saints. All
Yeah.
season, like it's been superb. I've given them an A.
Okay. I've give them a B plus because I thought at the
Sorry,
start of
mine
the
was an A
season.
minus.
Okay.
So
I
pretty
give them
much
a B
similar.
plus, pretty much the same. I think I had my doubts about them over the first 10 rounds.
Hmm.
I thought they were
They never really
scratchy.
got going, did they?
No, and I thought,
They were getting results, but never got going.
yeah, then they were in and out and they'd lose one. And I wasn't that impressed with them compared to last season for the first 10 rounds.
Hmm.
But since then, I think they've been excellent. And I think Leeds' form, where people have said they've been pushed in contention, look at Leeds, I think has taken unfair shine off what Lee have done.
Yeah.
And I think you've mentioned a lot of players there. You know, you said about the first yellow card for it was Ipapi, wasn't it?
Hmm.
And he's been magnificent. Now I think there's three elements to this with Leeds. With
Lee.
Lee. I think the first one is the owner, right? Now, some of the stuff he does, I think is embarrassing. Some of the stuff he does, I think is cringeworthy, right? Where I admire him though, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But what I do admire about him is that he follows the strength of his convictions in business as an owner.
Hmm.
And where I'm really, really impressed with Derek Beaumont is the match day experience.
Yeah.
And I think as a rebrand, I think it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
If you
Could
look
do
at
with
that
a better
compared to,
logo. Could do with a better logo. But other
they
than
could have
that,
done. But I'm talking about, compare that to Cassie's rebrand, right? When they've
yeah.
gone from Centurions to Leopards, absolute genius. People laughed at him at the start. What the hell's this?
Hmm.
Right? But now, people, you
You can't walk
you
past
don't
someone
see
wearing leopard print and
exactly
go,
that.
Lee.
Exactly that. And people then dress
But yeah,
accordingly
I
on
didn't
that.
know such a person on telly was a Lee fan.
Absolutely. And I think in that, I think it's been genius. Absolute genius.
Hmm.
The crowds have improved because of the match day experience and because of the way the team have gone. And I think for him to have that conviction to say, no, 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 this is what we're going to do. Where I don't like it is where he's dancing behind the camera at Catalans and
Yeah.
stupid things like that. Do you know what I mean? But as a business and a business model, I think it's been excellent. The second part, and the second and the third part are as one, I suppose, really. One is the coach, which it didn't quite work out for him at Wigan, did it?
No.
But I think he's found a home, hasn't he, at Lee?
I think he's also learned from what he did at Wigan.
Hmm.
And I think in coaching, you've got to make mistakes. You've got to make errors,
Yeah,
like we said with Rowley, where he's made his
yeah,
mistakes and he's learned from
yeah,
them and he's grown as he's got older. Lama's done the exact same thing. He was criticised for his attack at Wigan, and Lee, you look at them and their attacks one of the best bits. They've
Mm.
taken Lamb's defence,
But yeah,
what he had at Wigan, and added to it with a good attack.
yeah. But in this country, I can't see Adrian Lamb coaching anywhere else.
No,
When
other
you look
than
at
Leeds.
someone like Darryl Powell, he's been Castleford, Wakefield, he's been Warrington, Leeds. Do you know
Featherstone.
what I mean? He's like, yeah. So he's been like, he's not got a job. Huddersfield need a new coach. Oh, Darryl Powell's in the frame. Wouldn't surprise you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Smith, that type of person,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Adrian
Like a
Lamb,
Jose Mourinho of rugby
yes,
league.
yeah. I can't see Adrian Lamb coaching us because I don't think unless he goes to the new Papua New Guinea team or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I can't see him being sacked at Lee forever. But I can't see him coaching elsewhere in this country. Does that make sense? He
For
seems the
example, you
perfect
couldn't
fit.
see Nuno Espirito Santo being sacked by Nottingham Forest. All it takes is one falling out.
It does. But you understand where I'm coming from
Yeah,
with it. He
yeah,
seems a
yeah.
perfect fit for that
Yes,
hot seat,
yeah, yeah.
right? Now, the third thing that's intertwined with that, whoever is in charge, and I don't think it's Derek Beaumont,
It
but whoever is in charge of their recruitment,
was Chris Chester.
I think they've been magnificent. You've mentioned the
Absolutely.
players that have come in, like Tessie New, who, Saints could have picked up at a bargain fee. And some of the players that they've brought in, I think, have been excellent. Ipapi. No one really knew Ipapi before he came to Lee.
No, he's on Manly's books.
Yeah, but he didn't. Nobody would expect him to be as explosive as he's been
No.
for them. He's been magnificent, hasn't he? I think when you look
Been with
at
them
those
since
sort
the
of
championship as well, and
yeah,
that
yeah,
core that they has.
Spencer Lou.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
the one from Gold Coast.
yeah, I think what they're really good at, Lee, is I think they're really good at doing their due diligence on people and on targets.
I really like the one that was a Lee youngster who was at OKR. What was his name? The second row. It's just gone out my head.
Has he gone now?
No, he's
Not
still
Kyle.
there.
Not no.
He's still there. But even like Kai O'Donnell in the past,
Yeah, exactly that. A
like
moan that they've had.
what's his
People like this.
begins
You
with a
know,
H. I swear it
Ram.
begins with a H.
I've said before that perhaps they could have. I think perhaps what they're missing to complete the jigsaw. I think they're missing a better six.
Frankie Alton.
Halton, yeah, is it OKR? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think they're missing a better six to complete the jigsaw.
Yes. Mate, if they had a six, they
Yeah.
would.
I think they'd win the
They'd
league.
be in contention to be league
I
leaders.
think so.
If
Yeah.
not, they win it.
So, but I think they'll.
Would having a six, would having a better six like they had with Moylan, for example, would it take away from Lamb like we've seen previously?
Perhaps so.
Depending on the type of a six.
Yeah.
That they get in.
But then I would worry for them if Lamb's out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I
they are
think
a one-man team at the minute.
Yeah. And I think they've done quite well with
doesn't click.
And they've done quite well with injuries as well, I think.
Yeah.
And they haven't been missing that many. But I think they've got some exciting players, Keenan Brand, people like that, as well as the players that we've already mentioned. Hanley, I agree with you. I think
Keegan Brand, Love Island contestant. I think he
yeah.
lasted 4 days.
Castleford had one of them as well.
Yeah, they did.
See?
I think he's at Doncaster now.
Yeah, see what I mean? Different class again.
Yeah, classic gas.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, Lee, I think they're missing a six, and I think they are the pieces of the jigsaw are in.
Yeah, and they are my dark horses for the grand final. They're my dark horses because I think they could beat Wigan and they can definitely beat OKR.
Yeah.
So moving on.
And finished the highest they've ever done again.
Again.
So they're on an upward curve. They're on a progressive ladder all the time, every season.
Yeah,
and you have to admire
every team will hit the peak at some point.
Yeah,
It's
And you
just
have to
where that
admire that.
peak will be.
Yeah,
Oh, massively. Whenever
yeah,
anyone's on an upward trajectory, you have to. And
yeah.
we go down back to the bottom of the ladder. This will be the last team of this part before we release part two later on in the week. It is the Huddersfield Giants. They are not giant in rugby league terms, and nor have they been giant or imposed themselves this year on Super League. Recruitment's been shocking, an absolute waste of money, half of them. Who the heck signed Milne? He's got to be one of the worst players I think I've seen play. I don't know what he does well. I know what he does badly. I don't know what he does well.
I don't think I've
Seemed
seen him tackle below shoulder height yet.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Did
It
it?
seemed very scattergun approach for
Yeah,
recruitment. It was kind of just like, oh, he's played in the NRL, we'll get him.
yeah. They've
Do we
just
need
give
him?
Joe Greenwood a new 2-year contract.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's probably been their best player this year, or one of. Him and
Yeah,
Wilson, maybe.
yeah,
Wilson's been very good, and even he's asked for a release. So,
yeah.
you know, it just seemed very scattergun. They gave a rookie coach shocking tools, again, kind of like Cass. Crowds just don't lift the team, so that it's not like they've got an extra man behind them. It just
No,
feels when you see Huddersfield on a fixture list, doesn't make you want to tune in. It's like when you see Cass on a fixture list, but the difference is with Cass is when they play Wakefield, you want to tune in, or Leeds, you want to tune in. When you see Huddersfield, I don't want to tune into the game,
no, exactly. I think they've got a head
especially when they're
coach.
at home.
I think they've got yes, yeah, you're right. I think they've got a head coach who isn't head coach material.
Good
I think
assistant.
that yeah, an excellent assistant, but I don't think that's quite worked as a head coach. They've had shoots of recovery where they've played better in the odd games. I'm thinking of when they took the game on the road to Dewsbury and they played Wigan and they were unlucky to lose in the last second. So they've had those sort of games. Go back to Cass and ask about what do the other teams that are putting applications in. I think what stands Huddersfield in good stead is their
Owner.
they've spent a lot of they've spent a lot of money on the training facilities recently, and they're after this new ground, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that will see them then progress. That is in their favour. But team wise, can they get back to where they were in what was it 2015?
2014.
2014 league
No,
leaders.
2013. 2013.
2013
Paul
was it?
Anderson.
It's a long time ago, isn't it? And but
12
they had
years.
an excellent team then, and again, good coach, etc. It seems to me that scoring points has been a massive problem. It seems to me that if Gagai, Swift, or Flanagan don't score, they don't score.
It seems to me if Flanagan doesn't play,
Flanagan's
they
been the
don't
highlight,
score.
hasn't he?
Oh, he's been
Flanagan's been the
class.
highlight.
The thing,
And it's whether they can keep hold of him, isn't it? I think.
and that's the problem with a lot of these teams. Will they
Mm,
keep hold of these young players? Now, it's what we should be in as a position as the league. Everyone should be competitive, so you're able to keep your youngsters.
agree.
Whereas that's what the NRL are trying to get to, because you see with West Tigers they lose youngsters all the time. You see with like to Gold Coast or even North Queensland at some point, if the youngster was thingy,
Yeah,
they'd go somewhere else, and they need to get they're slowly getting to that stage where
yeah,
there's about 8 or 9 teams they want to go to. Super League,
yeah,
there's only 3 teams they want to go to.
yeah.
Four if you include Catalan to live in France.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it disappoints me the way that it's like I don't know. It's natural from fans' point of view, but you see it all the time where people will go, "Oh, he'd do well for us. I'd love us to take a chance on it." Like it's some sort of given right that you can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to name the team, but if I said cherry pick, you'd know who I meant. Like
What you
these
mean?
players. And the
Oh no,
fans are,
because
oh, he'd go well for us. I think, well, he wouldn't get in. He wouldn't get in over French and this. And I'm like, well, you haven't got a right to take these players because they're we like you said. It should be the league should be competitive enough that they're able to keep to these teams are able to keep it and build around those players.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are never ever going to get past this 4-team winning Super League situation.
No. And that's the thing, and well, you've just brought it up there. I've given them an E minus because I think they're better than Cass, but only just. They had a couple of shock wins, and that's literally the only reason why I put them an E minus.
I'd give them an F again just because I think they're on an absolute par with Cass.
I just thought they were ever so slightly better, but that
They
isn't
might have
a
been,
compliment.
but
That isn't
it's
a
not enough.
compliment.
It's not enough for an E minus for me. It's still an F. It's not enough. That
If they'd have beat
It's a drop
Wigan,
goal better than Cass. That's
if
it.
they'd have beat Wigan in that game, would they have been an E?
Yeah, it could have been an E minus then, but instead they were drop goal better than Cass, and that's not enough for an extra mark, I'm afraid.
That's, you know what, yeah, fair enough. That's a good enough reason for me. But you mentioned I think it's a good point to end on this. You mentioned the 4-team win in Super League. We started on Hull KR with this rating. They were the 9th team to win, the league leaders. So people say, the league's the hardest one to win. You're the most consistent throughout the year. It's not, because that start's just proven it. There's only been 4 winners of the grand final, but 9 league leaders. League leaders isn't the hardest to win. Because it's all down to mentality. It's all down to who's got what's left in the tank. It's a bigger mind battle, the playoffs, than it is anything.
I'm going to disagree with you because I'm a bit more old school and said if you finish top over 27 rounds, you're the best team. And I remember the days when that used to be the case, and then we had the old Premiership playoffs at the end of the season, which was a great competition in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I am. If you finish top after 27 rounds, then I think you deserve more than a shield that you don't know whether to celebrate or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but I do understand what you're saying, but I just disagree in the terms of I think that's the strongest team.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. From what I'm saying is, they all say it's the hardest one to win. It's obviously not, because there's more into the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like the Challenge Cup. There's more into knockout rugby than just being consistently good.
Mind you, what has helped, or doesn't help that, if you like, is the way that the playoffs have, I'm not going to say evolved, I'm just going to say changed.
Yeah, but we had the best format for 1 year and then they scrapped it.
I think top 5 was the best format.
First and second play each other. Winner goes to the final.
And then
the second place gets another chance.
You got another chance. And third got another chance, yeah. Did third get another chance? Yes, they did, yeah.
Yeah, and third.
Yeah, they did.
So,
but if you were fifth, you had to go to fourth, third, second, etc. to win, and you had to go away to win.
Mm-hmm.
To win the grand final. So that was the best format we had. Where you get this now, the league leaders can obviously be beat in a one-off semi-final, because now it becomes like the Challenge Cup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As opposed to the second chances and things like that. So when you take the Raiders, for example, well, you've blown it because they've blown it twice.
Yeah.
They've lost twice, so therefore they probably don't deserve to win the playoffs. So, but then I think when you go straight through as league leaders and then you're at home in a semi, you can lose that. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good part to wrap up part 1 of this. We'll be straight on recording the rest of the pod, so we're not going to bother getting changed and blag the cameras for you. We're just going to carry on like normal. This isn't TV. I don't get paid for this. This is just for fun. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning where I am. I'm not getting changed. Unless I'm putting my pyjamas on, I'm not getting changed again. But this has been part 1, and catch us out. I'll put it up on Thursday for part 2, or just wait and watch them all one after the other. That's completely up to you. So we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.